So welcome back. In today's video, we are going to look at what we call static variables. What are static variables in Java? I think many of you have been wondering this keyword called static. What is those who are curious might wonder why are we writing the static keyword in our main method. So today we are going to look at static variables. Then in the next video, we are going to be looking at what we call static methods. So today we are going to start at dealing with static variables. So I'll first create a class for a student, and then inside the class I will I'll create some objects. I'll create some students. So I'll say class student open. So a student can have a name, which is a string, name, which is a string. Student can have age is an integer, something like this. So down here, I'm going to create uh, objects that belong to this class that I've created. So I'll call my instance of my class, which is an object. I'll say student. Uh, my student is going to be with a variable called student1 is equal to student, new student. This is capital because we are referencing, we are creating an instance of this class student. So I have said that my student, now here I can access this variable student.name is equal to John, student one dot h is equal to, let me say 20, something like this. So down here I can say student, can create another student, student 2 equal to, I create a new instance for the student. So I'll use this student 2 to create another object for the student. So this student is going to have student.name is going to be Sarah, then student 2 dot h going to be like that, something like this. So if I want to print out these objects in my terminal, I just come here, I create a method. I can say void show. The method has a name called show. In this case, someone might ask, why am I using a void data type? Simply, a void data type does not return anything. Yeah, so I can make this public so that I can access it anywhere. So the system.out print a new line. I'm going to print name, uh, then give some space here, print an age. So to access all these attributes inside these objects, I will just call this show method. Names I want to access John and his age. I will say student1 dot show. I'll call the show method that I created. Remember, the show method is displaying the name and age simply, and even here while creating, we created the name and the age. So when you compile this, you see that we are able to access only John. John has the name and his age. So the same thing if I want to access Jane. So I'll say student 2 dot show. Now here I'm accessing this variable, the instance that I created. Now inside the instance we have the show, but the show is printing out the name and the age, meaning here I'll be able to access even Jenny's attributes. So we go to the main part. What is a static variable? Think of a static variable as a shared property that belongs to the entire class rather than to individual objects. Remember, when, when I wanted to create a new object to insert new values into this student object, I created a new instance. So each and every time that I wanted to insert new values, I had to first come and create the new instances. But the word static means you are making this accessible anywhere. Meaning, if you use the static keyword, it's no longer part of the object, but it now belongs to the class. by the class, I'm meaning if I want to access the age, I just use the student class, meaning it is global on everywhere. It is affecting each and every part, meaning in this case. So let us try. So what does the static keyword mean? By static, think of a static variable as a shared property that belongs to the entire class rather than to individual objects. Remember when I wanted to create, let me say, an object of John and his age, I first created a new instance of this object. Each and every time that I created new instances, meaning to access properties of name, age, you first create new instances, meaning this is very okay that you can create multiple students, but take an instance whereby you have something which is static and it is not changing in your objects. Let me say school name. Individuals can have different names, but can belong to one school, meaning the name of the school won't change. Meaning when I want to create, so I'll create here variable student school name, school name, which is a string, something like this. So let me say student, and now let me come here and student one dot school name. Let me say the school name is, let me say KK High School, something like this. The same thing, I will do the same thing even down here on Sarah. The object for Sarah that I created, this has to do. So when I run and compile these two, you will see that this has been created. Oh, sorry, I have to add this here. School name, which is school. So this has to be a comma, a plus, not a comma. So when I compile this, you will see that we have added the school name in our objects. But can't you see that this is, we are repeating ourselves each and every time that we are creating our objects? The school name is simply a static word. It is not going to change in our objects. All students belong to this school name. Meaning here, when I come here and I use the name static. So what does the name static mean? The name static means this school name, the variable, is no longer part of this object that we have created, but the school name is now part of the class. Yeah, is now part of the class, meaning it is affecting each and every part, or each and every area where you're having the school name, meaning the school name will be shared globally in the entire object, or in the entire class, or in the entire methods that you created. Meaning in this case, I will say when I remove this and remove this, no, not removing it, you can comment out this and comment out this. But instead, I'll come here and I say is equal to school name is equal to KK, like this. So meaning when I do something like this, in this case, and I try printing out the school name, in this case, you will see that every object is having the school name. Why? It is having the static keyword, meaning it is affecting all the entire objects that we have. Even if I leave out this, even if I come and I leave out this without changing this, and I try to change one, let me make this like global. What will this do? This will affect even this student too. Why? Because of this static keyword. Now it's no longer part of the object. Now it is part of the class. Meaning, and here you are seeing that they are underlining that the static field student or name shouldn't be accessed in a static way. Meaning, this is no longer part of this object. So to access this name, access it using the student class. So in this case, I'll say student dot name. You see that everything is okay now. So to access a static variable, you access it using the class it is defined in, because now it is now part of the class, not part of the object. Hopefully I'm clear there. So when I compile this, I can first remove this show for student 1, I leave for student 2. You see that student 2 is not having the name, but when you compile the school name, when you compile, student 2 will be having this name that I changed in student 1 because of this what static keyword. So meaning by static, the name or the variable is no longer part of the object, but now it is global on the class. And the other thing to note is that by using the word static, it is going to affect all your objects, meaning all your objects globally are going to share the same name as used, mainly because of the static keyword. So whenever you want to access something, or whenever you want to set something global in your objects anywhere, you use the static keyword. But remember, to access it, you access it through its class that it is defined in, like here, the way I've done. When you try to access it using the object, now it's no longer part of the object. You see that they are telling you the static field.name should be accessed in a static way, meaning you're accessing this name which is having the static keyword in a wrong way. You have to access it through its class that it is defined in. So when you change this, you see that everything is okay. Even if you change this to another word, let me say that tt, and I try to file and run, you see that I'm accessing the show on Sarah. I haven't touched on the object of Sarah, but you see that is also sharing the name, the school name. So whenever you want to access something, you want to make something global in an object or in any other way, you use the name, the static keyword. So in the next video, we are going to look at what we call static methods. Thank you.